Good evening, Sonor family. Jules here. Man, I got some great news for you. I'm sure you saw the title, so this isn't a surprise now. But did a Zoom call with Steve Smith today and had a very deep dive conversation about Sonor, his history with Sonor, and some Sonor products and all that kind of stuff. The present and potential future of the company and all that, and I think you're going to love it. And the great thing is, I had made a list of things that I wanted to discuss. I did away with my structured interview questions. When I sent one to Todd back in December for the interview that came out in January, he didn't look the list over. I sent it over as a courtesy to see if there's anything he didn't want to talk about or I should add or change or whatever. He didn't want to look at it because he wanted to be spontaneous with his answers. He didn't want to seem rehearsed. And I respect that. And then I sent Gavin a list of questions as well. And he did, we did kind of stick to the script to a small degree. But after the one with Gavin, I realized, these things are better organic. I mean, this isn't 60 minutes or 2020. I'm not a professional interviewer, and I don't want this to seem like an interrogation. So the feel that I like better is just two Sonar guys uh, talking about Sonar. And I think that's what we've got on these interviews so far. And today was a continuation of that. So I've never had a conversation with Steve Smith before. So I made my list and I was going to go check things off as they came up. And then if we missed something, kind of lure the conversation back that way. Some of this stuff I wasn't sure how receptive he was going to be to answering it. And as it turns out, he pretty much hit my whole list himself. I mean, once we got started, it was a very factual and full conversation, and he spoke in depth about quite a bit of stuff, and really it took care of everything I wanted to know. So it's going to be a really good interview. Now, something I'd like you to do for me, if you enjoy the Sonar content and you haven't subscribed already, please do. That helps me on a number of levels. One is potential monetization. I do all this out of pocket, and it's not exactly a day job, but it does take up a lot of my time, and I'm making no money from it whatsoever. And what I will not do is I will not run ads in my content. That would bring me money for sure, but it would also make it aggravating watching content on my channel, and I just can't foresee any circumstance under which I would ever start running ads. Uh, on an interview like the one with Steve Smith, this turned out to be a relatively short interview compared to the ones with Todd and Gavin and some others. But we covered all the bases. And uh, on interviews like with Todd and Gavin, I keep using those two because those are two of my really big performers. Those interviews could have been 3 or 4 hours long, and not only would a lot of people have watched the whole thing, they would have started it over and watched it again. Some of my interviews are not that way. A lot of my content, when I go back and I look at the statistics, a lot of the content you can tell people have really short attention spans. So if it's not a topic of great interest, they might be curious and they'll watch. And then the first thing that comes along that draws their attention elsewhere, they're gone. And an ad would certainly do that. And then at the same time, even on things like Steve Smith and some of these other ones, if you're sitting there and you're just getting inundated with ads along the way, sooner or later, your interest may wane and you may wind up not watching till the end. And I don't want that. I don't want people to come on here and feel like it's cumbersome watching because you're having to, for me to make some money, you're having to watch ads. So what I do ask is if you haven't subscribed and you do enjoy, if you enjoy the content and you want to be alerted when things happen and all that, and if you'd like to support the channel in a non-monetization way, a non-monetary way, let me use a proper word use there. Please subscribe and like the ones you like. And if you don't like it, don't like it. Don't hit the like button. But I do look at things like my subscriber levels and what pushes them up. Same thing on the likes. I look and see what kind of stuff really doesn't do as well, and the things that get 100% likes, which is a lot. The people on here that are watching the channel really seem to like the Sonar content, and I appreciate the support, even if it's just clicking the like button. Um, there is a thanks button down there. If anybody ever sees something like, you know what, that really helped me. You know what? If you send me enough money to cover a hamburger, that's great. If you don't send anything, that's fine too. I'm not in this for the money. If I was, I'd have been broke a long time ago. Anyway, enough rambling about all that stuff. But I will tell you, it's been a great year with interviews. The interview with Todd Zuckerman this year really kicked this channel off in a way that uh, I never had before. This is my third round of interviews over the years, starting in 2008, and really went big with it this time. And I've got a lot of people to thank for that. And one day I will do a video where I'll talk about maybe my top 10 interviews of the year and people that have been, uh, key people, Todd Zuckerman being one of them, obviously, in really boosting the channel this year. Big shout out to Jeff Mulvihill at KHS, too. He really connected me on this one with Steve. I was having trouble making contact on my own. But as time moves on, people become more and more familiar with the channel, and I'm referring to people I'm trying to do contact with. Steve had already seen some interviews, um, and commented specifically about the one where Jeff Heinz had filled in for Todd Zuckerman. And anyway, so the channel has gained a good bit of traction this year so far. I've got a lot of other content planned. If you've got somebody you'd like to see interviewed, or you got some content, or want to know, if you want some thoughts on something, just email me at drummandstage@gmail.com. And anything that makes for good content, I will do. And if you want to be interviewed, or you want to show off your kid, I've got Kid of the Week firing up soon on Wednesdays. I will show anybody's Sonar kit that wants to show theirs. No problem at all. If you want an interview, I don't care if all you do is go down to the pub and play on Friday nights, or if you've just got some really cool Sonar gear that never leaves the basement or the garage. It doesn't matter. And you will be surprised at how many people turn out to watch that stuff. If you haven't noticed on other such interviews so far, it doesn't take being a well known person to draw a crowd on my channel. And I thank everybody that pays attention to that stuff and that watches that stuff. I'm going to let you have your evening back, but I appreciate everybody. And I may have some other bits and pieces come out this week about the interview coming up. Um, haven't really figured out if or what I'm going to do on that yet, but be looking for that on Saturday. And go see us at the Drum and Stage Forum. That's drumandstage.com/forum. A lot of good information and folks on there. Would love your input and your participation, and we will see you soon.